Hello friends, welcome back to VOW DAYS. Welcome to the Prelims test series discussion. So here we are discussing the Vision Prelims test series and we are now discussing the first test. This is part 2. Hope you have seen the part 1 of yesterday's video. Right? So yesterday we have done till question number 20. Now let's continue from there. So 21st question, it is about the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. So this National Commission for Protection of Child Rights is a statutory body. Remember this is the first important thing. It is a statutory body, and if we see, it works under the Ministry of Women and Child Development. So these kind of questions are generally coming in the exam. It comes under which ministry deals with this. So those kind of questions are coming. So keep a close eye on it. And also for Commission, protection of children in the age group of 0 to 18 years is of equal importance. Okay. So National Commission of Protection of Child Rights under Ministry of Women and Child Development is a statutory body, and it takes care of the children from 0 to 18 years. Okay. And also this is another thing you have to remember. It is the designated agency to monitor right to education. It can investigate complaints and have powers of civil court in trying cases. So this is also another important thing you should be knowing. Now let's move on to the next one, 22nd question. The 22nd question is about the PARAC and AICTE. So this All India Council for Technical Education is a statutory body at national level. It is an apex body to conduct surveys on facilities available for technical education and to promote development of education in the country. Okay. And if you see PARAC, it is a student learning assessment. PARAC is a student learning assessment, and it will conduct assessment of student and faculty members. So it's assessment for both students as well as teachers of higher education. So remember that PARAC. What is PARAC means? Assessment for both teachers as well as students at higher education. So that's the thing. Next one, the question is on Indian liberalism. So liberalism of India is different from liberalism of the West. If you see secularism, the secularism of India is different from secularism of left. In the same way, even liberalism of India is different. Okay. So the classical liberalism is different with is mostly concerned. It is mostly concerned with individual freedom. The classical liberalism. So that means the Western liberalism is mostly concerned with individual freedom. But in India, individual identifies himself with the community to which he or she belongs. So here community is given more importance. Okay. So that is also another important thing. In the West generally the individual is given more importance. Okay. And reservation to deprived classes to meet the demands for social justice signifies the idea of Indian liberalism. So in India we give reservation to various communities. So here communities preferred much more compared to that of individuals. Okay. So that is about the Indian liberalism. So next one is about the National Human Rights Commission. So this National Human Rights Commission, if you see, it is also a statutory body. Just now we have seen National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, it is also statutory body. Even the National Human Rights Commission is also statutory body. So as the name suggests, it deals with human rights. So this statutory body, the National Human Rights Commission, basically it is for the protection of human rights. So it is formed under the Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993. Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993, and it mostly deals with abolition of bonded labor. It deals with abolition of child labor, trafficking of women. See, trafficking of women is not taken care by this Women Commission. It is taken care by this Human Rights Commission. So just note this. The maternal anemia and human rights, and also this combating sexual harassment of women at workplace is also taken care by the NHRC. Abolition of manual scavenging, the Dalit issues, the denotified and nomadic tribes, the disabled people. Okay, all of these things, and also people with HIV/AIDS. All of these things are taken care by the Human Rights Commission. Next one, the World Employment and Social Outlook Trends of 2022. It is the flagship report of ILO. So who releases this World Employment and Social Outlook? ILO. It examines the impact of crisis on global and regional trends in employment, unemployment, and labor force participation, as well as on job quality, informal employment, and working poverty. All of these things. So the important thing is who releases this World Employment and Social Outlook Trends 2022. by International Labour Organization ILO. The next thing, election commissioners. We all know Article 324 deals with election commission, right? Article 324 deals with election commission, and we have 3 election commissioners, the chief election commissioner plus 2 other election commissioners. Currently that is the composition. The composition is not specified in the constitution. You have to know that very clearly. The composition of election commission is not specified in the constitution. That is the reason earlier we used to have single election commissioner. Later on it is now changed to 3 election commissioners, CEC plus 2 other election commissioners. Okay. And the condition of service and tenure of election commissioners and regional administrators shall be determined by the president. It shall be determined by the president. In case of difference of opinion amongst chief election commissioner and 2 other election commissioners, the matter is decided by the majority. The matter is decided by the majority, and removal of election commissioner, if you see, it is same as that of the Supreme Court judge. It is same as that of the Supreme Court judge, and also, so that means he is not in position. He is not in position until the pleasure of the president, like that of the Attorney General, right? So this is about this election commissioners. So next question is on president's rule. So president's rule, if you see, it has this president's rule. It basically deals with article. Can you tell me which article? Yes, it is Article 356. Article 356. We have 3 emergencies: national emergency, state emergency, and financial emergency. Right? Article 352 deals with national emergency. Okay, 356 deals with the president rule or state emergency, and Article 360 deals with the financial emergency. And this president's rule have no effect on the fundamental rights of the citizens, but whereas the national emergency and martial rule will have, right? So that is the thing which we have to know. The president's rule have no impact on the fundamental rights of the people. So next one, constitutional amendment, 28th one, constitutional amendment. So the various DPSPs were added by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. See, this is a question that was asked a lot of times. The various DPSPs asked, the various DPSPs which were added by 42nd, 44th and all. So you have to know them very clearly. So by 42nd Amendment Act, Article 39 to secure opportunities for healthy development of children, 39A to promote equal justice and free legal aid to the poor, there is 39A, 43A to take steps to secure participation of workers in the management. So this also by 42nd Amendment Act, and to secure opportunities for healthy development of children, 39, to protect and improve environment and to safeguard forest and wildlife, Article 48A. Next, 44th Amendment Act of 1978, under this, the state shall in particular strive to minimize the inequalities in income and endeavour to eliminate inequalities in the status, facilities, opportunities and so on. So that is also added. And by the 97th Amendment Act, remember this, in 2011, the state shall endeavour to promote voluntary formation of these cooperatives. So 43B, this was added by 97th Amendment Act. See, last year this cooperatives was in news because of the judgment of the Gujarat High Court. So keep a close eye on this. And 86th Amendment Act, the state shall endeavour to provide early childhood care and education of all the children until they complete the age of 6 years. So earlier, this providing education from 6 to 14 years used to be part of this DPSPs. Used to be part of this DPSP, but by this 86th Amendment Act, what they have done is they removed this early childhood, they removed this primary education and placed this primary education in the fundamental rights. Can you tell me which article deals with primary education fundamental rights? Anyone? Yes, it is Article 21A. So this deals with right to education, Article 21A. And the Article 45, which earlier used to deals with this primary education, is now changed to early childhood care. Early childhood care. Okay, that is the thing given here. Right. Now next question, 29th question. So before that, a small information for you guys. So this is a Telegram channel. It has about 9,600 members. So do join our Telegram channel to get various updates about the videos, about the content that we are providing and all. Okay. So you can just go to Telegram and type VOW DAYS and you can directly find our channel which has about 9,600 members, and you can directly join there and do get all the updates timely. Right. Now let's get back. So this 29th question, if you see, 29th question of Indian Constitution, so it is basically a question on Indian Constitution, sorry, 29th question is on Indian Constitution. So here the doctrine of pleasure of president is given. So doctrine of pleasure of president is nothing but there are certain offices in the executive which are where the people are in power till they enjoy the pleasure of the president. For example, governor, for example, attorney general, they will be in office only till they enjoy the pleasure of president. That means if the president want, they can be in power. If the president doesn't want, president can just remove them. That is the thing about this doctrine of pleasure of president. Next, attorney general, same, attorney general will be in power till the time he enjoys the pleasure of the president. Article 76 deals with attorney general. Attorney general basically is also part of this parliament. He can take into the proceedings of the parliament. So, okay, just note that. But the only thing is he cannot vote in the parliament. He also can take a private practice. The attorney general can also take a private practice, but he has to take permission of the government. That is also there. Next, CAG. CAG, if you see, he holds office for a period of 6 years and up to the age of 65 years, whichever is earlier. And the removal is same that of the Supreme Court judge. So, here the president does not have any role in the removal of CAG. Only during appointment he will do, but removal, it will be done same like that of the Supreme Court judge by the parliament. Okay. And the president can remove chairman and any other member of UPSC from the following circumstances: if he is insolvent, if he is engages into any other paid employment, if he is unfit, or he can also remove for misbehavior, for proved misbehavior, right. So next, even the chief election commissioner has also some the security like that of the Supreme Court judge. So he also can be removed like that of the Supreme Court judge. So how the Supreme Court judge will be removed? Do let me know in the comments. It's very simple. You might have known that already. So the parliament has to pass a resolution by how many members? Just mention in the comments. Okay. Tomorrow we will discuss that as well. Right. So next one, Padma Awards. 30th question, Padma Awards. So Padma Awards, if you see, it is the highest civilian honor of India after Bharat Ratna, instituted in 1954 along with Bharat Ratna. The Padma Awards along with Bharat Ratna, they are instituted in 1954, given under 3 categories. See, sometimes out of the box questions are coming in prelims, so we have to know all these kind of questions. The Padma Awards are given under 3 categories: Padma Vibhushan for exceptional and distinguished service, Padma Bhushan for distinguished service. See, Vibhushan is greater than Bhushan, so Vibhushan is given for exceptional and distinguished service. Below this you have Padma Bhushan for distinguished service. Next you have Padma Shri. Padma Shri is the lowest among the 3. It is for distinguished service. Okay. And the awards seek to recognize achievements in the field of activities or disciplines where an element of public service is involved. The limitations and exceptions, if you see, they do not get any cash awards, but a certificate signed by the president is given for them. Right. And also a Padma award can be given, a higher award, only after 5 years of a conferment of earlier award. So that means if Padma Shri is given, only after 5 years the Padma Bhushan can be given, and if Padma Bhushan is given, only after 5 years the Padma Vibhushan can be given. So that is the meaning of this. And every year only 120 awards can be given, but this does not include posthumous award or awards given to NRIs and foreigners. So if the statement says only 120 awards can be given every year, that will be a false statement. That will be a wrong statement. Next, eligibility. All persons without distinction of race, occupation, position, sex, they are eligible for these awards. Okay, they are eligible. And if you see the nomination of the awards can be done by any person. It can be done by that person, or it can be done by any other person on behalf of that person for whom the award is to be given. Okay. So any citizen of India can nominate a potential recipient. So one can even nominate oneself, that also, and also an essay also has to be written. An essay has to be written why, and the award has to be given 800 words. So the essay what you are practicing for UPSC, don't know, tomorrow it might be of use for you for taking any Padma award. Well, that is a possibility, right? So now let's move on. Let's move on to the next question. The 31st question is with regard to the sources of constitution. So as you all know, Indian constitution is the ransacked constitution. So a lot of constitutions in the world are sagged. That means there are various provisions are taken from those to form Indian constitution. So you can see the American constitution. From the American constitution, we have taken the fundamental rights. From the Irish, we have taken TPSPs, so on and so forth, right? And why it was done is already lot of countries have done various research, right? So instead of doing the research again from scratch, it's better to use the things which are already there. That's what India has done. It has taken all the, it has understood the needs of India, and it has taken all the provisions in the various constitutions according to our own need. That is the major thing. So in order to fulfill this need, it is done. Next, the State Election Commission. The State Election Commission, if you see, the State Election Commission is also a constitutional body. The State Election Commission is also a constitutional body, right? But the thing is, the State Election Commission will conduct elections for local bodies. That is the most important thing. The SEC don't conduct elections for MP or MLA. For MP or MLA, it is the Central Election Commission which conducts the elections. But for local bodies, the Panchayati Raj system and the urban local bodies which are formed by the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts, for them the elections will be conducted by SEC, the State Election Commission, right? So the appointment will be done by the governor, but remember, the removal cannot be done by the governor. The removal has to be done by the parliament itself. Okay? So that is another thing about this State Election Commission. And the functions of delimitation, reservation and rotation of panchayats is also vested in the State Election Commission. Okay? So next, there is no clear-cut provisions regarding submission of reports by State Election Commission. The National Commission for Working of Constitution recommended that the State Election Commission should submit its report to the annual report to the governor and also Election Commission. It is said, but there is no specific provision till now. Next question, the National Commission for Minorities. The National Commission for Minorities, basically, if you see, it falls under the Ministry of Minority Affairs. It falls under the Ministry of Minority Affairs. And National Commission for Women, if you see, it falls under the Ministry of Women and Child Development, and the NCST under the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Okay, so all these things. Next, Finance Commission. Finance Commission formed under Article 280. Formed under Article 280 is a quasi-judicial body. It has all the powers of a civil court under the CRPC, and the matter of summoning and enforcing attendance and requisition any public record from court of office, right? And also it is constituted by the president once in every 5 years. Constituted once in every 5 years. And if you see the composition, it has chairman plus 4 other members, C plus 4, and they are appointed by the president. They are also eligible for reappointment. Just also remember this. They are also eligible for reappointment. Okay. So 32nd question is talking about the scheduled bank. So scheduled bank, what do you mean by scheduled bank? Scheduled bank is nothing but the banks which are there in the second schedule of RBI Act of 1934. They are called a scheduled bank. What is the advantage of being a scheduled bank? They enjoy 2 types of principal facilities. That means they enjoy 2 important things. One is they become eligible for the loans and debts at bank rate from the RBI. This is the most important thing. They can take directly loans from RBI, and also they become part of this clearing house, national clearing house. So this national clearing house ensures the transfer of money very easily. That is also another thing. And also recently we had these special banks called the payment banks. So payment bank, this is basically for financial inclusion. As the name suggests, they are payment banks. So here only the payment by the banks will be done. They do not include all the types of banking activities like the issue of credit card and all. They can issue only debit cards. That is another thing with this payment banks. This is basically after the suggestion of this Nachiket Moore committee and all. And also another important thing is the maximum deposit is 2 lakh per person. That is the maximum that a person can deposit. And they, as I said, they cannot give credit cards. So 36th question is on Constitution of India. It's a repeated question which we have discussed already. Next, 37th question is on CAG. CAG, it comes under Article 148. The CAG is removed by the President only in accordance with the procedure mentioned in the Constitution, and not hold his office till the pleasure of the President. He is also not eligible for further office either under the government of any state after he ceases to hold his office. Attorney General is not a full-time counsel for the government. He does not fall in the category of a government servant. He is not barred from private legal practice. The chairman of the UPSC, if you see, is not eligible for further employment in the government of India. the chairman of the UPSC, and also other members of UPSC, they also are not eligible for further employment, but the thing is they can be appointed as the chairman of UPSC or any other state PSC that is there with the other members of UPSC. Okay. Next, the National Commission for NCST, it was set up under Article 338A for the monitoring the safeguards of STs. So do comment in the comment box what is the article for National Commission for OBCs. So recently last year this National Commission for OBC was formed. So do let me know in the comments what is the article for that. Okay. So this 338A deals with NCST. So basically, as the name suggests, this is to empower the scheduled tribes and also deal with the issues regarding to the scheduled tribes, and also the other functions, if you see, to inquire into complaints, to suggest measures for conferring ownership rights, and also in respect basically to the minor forest produce and the other land issues in the tribal areas, and also to suggest measures for the implementation of the PISA Act. We all know that we have this 73rd Amendment Act dealing with the Panchayati Raj, the PRIs. But the issue is the Panchayati Raj is not applicable, these PRI institutions, it is not applicable to the tribal areas. So for the tribal areas specifically, we had another law called the PISA Act, the Panchayat Extension to Scheduled Act of 2006. Sorry, 1996. Sorry, this is 1996, the PISA Act. So this PISA Act basically it ensures that the 73rd Amendment Act, that is the panchayats, are even applicable to the tribal areas. That is the basic. That is why this came into picture. In fact, okay. Next one, the right against exploitation. So as we all know, there are 6 fundamental rights: right to freedom. Right to equality, right to freedom, right to life, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion, the cultural and educational rights, and the last one is right to constitutional remedies. So these are the 6 fundamental rights that we have. But in this, if you see, sometimes the question is coming broadly on these rights only. So right to exploitation, if you see Article 23-24 comes under this right to exploitation, the right against exploitation. So you have to know clearly 23-24. They come under this right to exploitation. What does 23 means? 23 basically deals with the human trafficking, like beggar, forced labor and all. 24 deals with the child employment. Both these are part of the exploitation. That means the human trafficking, the HR, human trafficking and child labor, HR and CR, both of them come under the right against exploitation, HR and CR. Okay. Right. So next one, the 40th question, that deals with the Indian Independence Act of 1947. The Indian Independence Act of 1947, if you see, it is by this act that the Constituent Assembly was made a fully sovereign body. It consists of all the Indians and it is made a sovereign body. So this Constituent Assembly is formed to form the Constitution of India. It has 296 members. Okay, 296 members, both elected as well as nominated. It also abolished the Viceroy and provided for each dominion a Governor General. The Act ended the British rule in India and declared India as an independent sovereign state from 15th of August 1947. It proclaimed lapse of British paramountcy on Indian princely states and granted freedom to either join India or Pakistan or remain independent. That is the reason we have this Kashmir issue in the first place. The Britishers would have told they have to join India or they have to join Pakistan. These princely states, they would have taken all the decision faster. But since this power is given, so the different states or different princely states like the Kashmir, Junagadh and Hyderabad, they actually, some of them wanted to join Pakistan and some of them want to remain independent. So because of this, there are a lot of clashes. Because of this, there are a lot of confusions. These states like Junagadh want to join Pakistan directly, which is there inside India. Even Hyderabad also the same thing. Even Kashmir was thinking to remain independent. So at that moment, when the Razakars they invaded Kashmir, the instrument of accession was signed by Raja Ranjit Singh with India, Maharaja Ranjit Singh with India, and then India got the Kashmir. But Pakistan still they are, I don't know why, no one actually know why they are still back of this Kashmir, right? So next, citizenship. Citizenship, if you see, so citizenship in India grants citizenship by various ways: by birth, by descent, by registration, by naturalization, and by incorporation of territory. So these are the various means by which one can get citizenship. So if a foreign territory becomes part of India, the government of India they will specify who will become Indian citizens. So if you see over time after independence, earlier the Goa used to be part of the Portuguese, the Sikkim used to be a separate state. So all of them, when they become part of India, Indian government specified who are going to become Indian citizens. Then all of them got Indian citizens after they were merged into India. Okay, that is the thing. Next, untouchability. Untouchability is dealt by Article 17. So it is part of right to equality. Sorry, as I said, in the broad the fundamental right. Right to equality is Article 14. But the first fundamental right deals with equality, and this Article 17 is part of that. Right to equality, right to freedom, like that. Okay. So Article 17 is part of the equality, and if you see, it is available both against state as well as private citizens, and enforcement of any disability or untouchability shall be an offence with respect to the law. Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955 contains detailed provisions. That is the thing about this. Okay. Next question deals with dark genome. So this dark genome, if you see, it is nothing but the DNA or the genome about which we don't know anything. We have the dark matter. Dark matter is nothing but the matter about which we don't know anything. In the same way, dark genome is nothing but the genome about which we don't know anything. The DNA outside the regions conventionally defined as genes are known as dark genome. Okay, so that is the basic meaning of dark genome. And recently, why it was in news is scientists have discovered evolved regions that codes for proteins in DNA outside our genes are associated with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. These are mental disorders. Okay. So this dark genome is related to that. Next one, the State Public Service Commission. State Public Service Commission consists of chairman and other members appointed by the governor of the state. The constitution does not specify the strength of commission at discretion of governor. Further, no qualifications are prescribed for the commission's membership except that one half of the members of the commission should be such persons who have held the office for at least 10 years either under government of India and under government of the state. Although the chairman and members are appointed by the governor, but they can be removed only by the president and not governor. So remember this. We have discussed this already. Next, reorganization of the state. The state reorganization, if you see, this reorganization, there are various commissions that are appointed. Dhar Commission, JVP Commission, Fazl Ali Commission. These three are the important commissions. Dhar and JVP, both of them rejected language as the criteria, but Fazl Ali Commission, they accepted language as the criteria. Remember this. A lot of times questions came from this area. And the first state to be formed under this criteria is Andhra Pradesh. In 1952, the separate Andhra movement, the Jai Andhra movement, all that happened, and when Poti Sriramulu died, so this separate state of Andhra Pradesh was announced based on language. So this is about this reorganization commission. Next one, Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993. We have already seen this. Okay, we have National Human Rights Commission and State Human Rights Commission at state level. See, the basic difference is the NHRC deals with, as you all know, we have Schedule 7, the 7th schedule. Under 7th schedule, we have center and state, where few powers are given. Sorry, excuse me. Under the 7th schedule, few powers are given to the center and few powers are given to the state, right? So the powers or the subjects over which the center has power, they will be dealt by the National Human Rights Commission, and the subjects over which state has power will be dealt by the State Human Rights Commission. That is the basic difference. Okay, right? So SHRC, the State Human Rights Commission, inquire into violation of human right only in respect to subjects of state and concurrent list, whereas the NHRC deals with the subjects related to the national list. That is the difference. And the SHRC, the members and the chairperson, they are appointed by the governor, whereas the NHRC, they are appointed by the president, but both of them can be removed only by yes, president. Right. So next one, 47th question. It is about religious denomination. It should satisfy three conditions. It should be a collection of individuals who have system of beliefs which they regard as the conducive to the spiritual well-being. It should have a common organization. It should also be designated by a distinctive name. That is about religious denomination. 47th question. Next, 48th question with regard to Sardar Swaran Singh Committee, which was appointed in 1976. Basically, this deals with the fundamental duties. Right. It recommended duty to pay taxes. It should be included in the fundamental duties, but it was not accepted. Casting vote is not included in the fundamental duties. is also there. Next, basic structure. If you see the basic structure laid down, it was laid down by the Supreme Court in the Keshwananda Bharati case. Keshwananda Bharati was the state of versus the state of Kerala case in 1973. So there are a lot of provisions like the secular character of constitution, sovereign, democratic and republic nature, separation of powers, the judiciary and executive, the unity and integrity of the country, welfare state, rule of law, principle of reasonableness, etc. So the parliament can amend any part of the constitution, but the thing is it should not affect the basic structure of constitution, and the basic structure is also ever evolving in nature. Various provisions were added by the Supreme Court during various judgments over time, right? So next one is the pressure groups. So pressure groups are the groups which attempt to influence the government policies, but unlike the political parties, the pressure groups do not aim to directly control or share the political power. Example, Narmada Bachao Andolan, movement for RTI, anti-liquor movement, etc. So like interest groups, a movement also attempts to influence politics rather directly take part in the electoral competition. But unlike interest groups, the movements have loose organization. Their decision making is more informal and flexible, and they depend more on the spontaneous mass participation than an interest group. That is the basic thing with these pressure groups. There are various pressure groups. We have discussed that already in the mains test. So just go through that as well. You will get better understanding. Okay. So these are the questions for the day. Tomorrow we will discuss some more questions. Okay. But before that, a small information for you guys. We are providing the summaries. The summaries for the first 1 week is provided at free of cost. For the first 1 week, it is provided at free of cost. But after that, you have to subscribe to them. We are providing summaries for Vision Prelims test, Vision Mains test, and Vision Monthly magazine as well. So the prelims test summary is for 1199. The mains test summary is also for 1199. The Vision Monthly magazine is for 749. So, but if you want combo of all the three, you can get it for just 2499. And you can contact us. You can contact us at this mail ID or even in the Telegram channel as well. Okay. So that's it guys for the day. I'll see you again tomorrow with some more questions. Till then, keep studying. Stay tuned. Jai Hind. Bye bye.